Welcome to Ask a Celebrant, a conversational podcast answering your questions relating to all the commemoration and celebrations of all the chapters of your life. I'm Bernie B, full life celebrant.
And I'm Dinah Liversidge. Hi everybody, it's Dinah and
Bernie, hi.
Today we're in Davies & Co in Llandilo. We absolutely adore this place. I want you to close your eyes and imagine, folks, the most beautiful 2 stories of furniture and home goods that are exquisitely chosen, and then in the basement, a cafe. I know, what can I say? So we're having iced coffee.
Yeah, we have just had the most amazing quiche salad, and what was it? Blue cheese and walnut quiche.
That was too good.
It was really great, and the whole place is set out in room settings, and it's just divine and wonderful. And so, if you're ever in the Llandilo area, I thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah.
But we came here today, and we were driving here, and we had the intention of doing this episode and talking about unattended celebrations, where the couple just say, can you come and meet us by the river, we want to do this, that and the other, and we had that all prepared.
Oh yes, we were planned.
It's not often we're organised.
No, not really, not really.
We were organised. We discussed it and we were planned, and then we were sat in the car and
I said, oh my goodness, I have just seen some photographs of a wedding I recently did in that gorgeous new suit I bought. You know, the one I was mad about. And you said, yeah, that gorgeous suit. And I said, and I looked like a green balloon.
And you cried.
And I cried. And then you said...
Yeah, I said, I did a varinal for this lovely couple as a surprise gift. And the photos of me, and I was wearing that gorgeous multicoloured shirt dress that was just loose. And I look like Elmer the elephant.
What on earth are we like?
And we were both so upset with our own image, we had to give each other a reality check. And I will tell you for why, because we were both absolutely delighted with and confident with how we were looking in ourselves, with our own size and shape. Prior to that,
yes.
And for Dinah, she had come away from that wedding. And there was a very chic, suave, mature pianist at this very high-class wedding from Italy. And unsolicitedly, he had said to her, I have to say, I have never seen a woman with such great style and dress sense as you. Nobody asked him to. He could have said nothing, but he went out of his way to do it. And you felt amazing, didn't you?
I was on cloud 9 for so long about that. And then 2 seconds of looking at an image changes it completely.
I've seen the image. She looks amazing, by the way.
And isn't it bonkers? I mean, the first reason why I think it's bonkers is you and I both have this really strong belief when we work with other people that it's about them, not us.
Yeah.
And yet the minute we look at ourselves, that's all we see.
Yeah.
No, look at me. And of course what we see when we look at ourselves is not what other people see.
No.
So you tell me that I look gorgeous or that I radiate some lovely energy.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
And what had also been so odd for me was I had actually, and I think I had told you after the wedding, mid-50s woman, this was genuinely one of the first days in my entire life when I got through the whole day without once thinking, do I look okay today?
Yeah.
I just had this sense of, I look great, I feel great, I'm in the right place, I'm working with an amazing couple in this beautiful venue, and not once for the entire day did I think, where's a mirror I need to check?
Yeah. Well, and both of us have done that, though, haven't we? When we're both curvaceous women with quite ample bazooms.
Yes.
And we're both quite colourful, aren't we, as
Absolutely.
well? So there's no hiding us. And normally we are confident, outgoing, happy, and the feedback we get from our couples or our families, if it's a funeral, is always very positive. Not once has someone said, "Oh God, that would have been much better if you hadn't worn green, or you weren't so fat."
Or if you were a size 0,
Yeah.
or 10 years younger, or you didn't have that random hair on your chin, or that tooth that's missing. And yet the stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah, which got me thinking and got you thinking about that old adage where advertisers say, Are you beach ready? And I had written a blog recently, which I'd forgotten about, even though it was only a few weeks ago, menopause, I blame myself.
Allowed.
Yeah, which said, are you wedding ready? And my answer was, yeah. Has someone asked you to marry them? Have you said yes? Is there a date booked? Is it imminent? Are you going to be there? Then you are wedding ready.
and I've never got this, that whatever couple you are, one of you has said to the other, I adore you so much that I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah.
And somehow what you hear is, great, I'd better lose 3 stone.
Yeah.
This person's just said, I adore you. I want to be with you forever.
Yeah.
Why would you want to change?
Yeah.
And yet there is this belief that if I don't, I'm not going to look as good as I could on my day. But the person who wants you to be there for that day doesn't think you could look any better than you do now.
You look gorgeous. That's why they love you. That's one of the many things they love about you, is whatever shape you are is part of you. And a lot of people, I hear, they become very miserable.
Yes.
With the stress they give themselves to look, because they buy the dress 3 sizes too small, so they're getting stressy.
What's that about?
Yeah, it's insane. Or they have 12 months of lifestyle that they hate because they have put this pressure on themselves to change into somebody that they weren't before they were told they were getting married.
Yes.
To the person who loves them exactly how they are, and it just makes no sense.
No, none at all.
You had a very interesting experience, and I want to talk about it because I had a styled shoot done by a wonderful lady called Vix Davis, and she came to my house, and she does empowerment photography, and she came to my house, and I'd met her as a wedding photographer at a wedding, which was great, and she did my photos, and I have never enjoyed a photo shoot and been so unself-conscious and come away with the photos of myself that I've liked as much as then. And you liked my photos so much that you decided you would have a shoot with her, didn't you?
Yeah,
and it
absolutely.
happened recently.
It happened literally just over a week ago. And yeah, same experience as you. Absolutely put me at my ease. I had really been dreading it.
You were scared. You were nearly called it off, didn't you?
Yeah, nearly called it off. Didn't sleep the night before, almost at all. Mm-hmm. But actually decided, you know what, I'm going to enter into the spirit of this because Bernie's pictures were so wonderful. I'm going to trust Vix. And I'm so glad that I did because the entire experience was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see the pictures. I'm like full of anticipation. Then this morning, because of seeing those, I actually messaged her and said, please tell me that the pictures you've taken from me are not horrible. Yeah. Because the ones I've just seen made me cry.
Yeah. She gave you the best advice.
She gave me the most glorious message, and massive shout out, Vix, because I so needed to hear it. She said, you need to sit in front of a mirror and you just need to tell yourself all the things that you love about yourself. Don't mention the things that you don't. We all struggle with this. It takes time and it takes work. And Vix, I honestly appreciate those words so much because I've heard them coming out of my own mouth to other women.
We do it all the time.
Constantly.
We're always, I mean, part of our role is to help people, empower people to be themselves.
And enjoy their moment.
Enjoy their moment, you know.
Yet here we are, playing that same old broken record to ourselves.
With our
as
own
if somehow
wisdom.
it doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
It's true for everybody else, but not for me,
Yeah.
because my bum is the size of Brazil. You know? And it's like, hold on a moment. Where does that reality come from?
Yeah. And
Thank you, Bridget Jones, for that quote. But there is this sense that we're all doing this. And as celebrants, you know, the clue is in the word, celebrating each other, celebrating our couples, celebrating someone's life.
Yeah.
Has to be about seeing those moments and those things about each other that are remarkable and beautiful. Imagine how life could be if we did that for ourselves.
Yeah, if we, I mean, I blame the internet, I blame the marketing people and the advertisers and the fashion industry, because none of it is real.
No, and I blame the whole language too.
Yeah.
You know, me and language are a bit of a session.
Yeah.
So I am really, really grateful that in September this year I'm 56. Mm-hmm. It is 10 years this year since I had a quadruple heart bypass that they told me I might live for another 3 years, and it's been 10. Mm-hmm. I am so grateful to be aging, and everywhere I look are adverts and posters saying anti-aging.
Yeah.
Like aging is a bad thing.
It's a wonderful thing. The alternative
yeah.
you know, it's a wonderful, and I have to say, I'm glad as well that
Thank
you're aging,
you.
because we are.
We get to do it together.
Yeah, we get to do
Isn't
it
that
together.
cool?
I mean, we're both.
But this idea that we should somehow feel shame for
And
the
we're less.
lines, and we're I mean,
And we're less
honestly,
so.
I have never had so much to contribute as I have now. I have 40 plus years of working experience.
Yes.
I have over 30 years of being a mother.
Yeah.
I have incredible life experiences I can share.
Yeah.
And somehow I'm supposed to be put in a corner and frowned upon because I have laughter lines and folds.
Yeah. And I always think, you know, when I'm writing or doing any part of my job, I mean, we're so lucky, aren't we, with our jobs?
Yes.
When I'm writing, I'm thinking, I'm really good at what I do. I really love it. I really make a difference. I have never been this content and self-aware and authentic within myself as I am now. And 95% of the time, I remember that and I love that. And then every now and again, I catch myself being critical of my wonky teeth or my triple chins or my old woman boobs that have fed babies, or
exactly.
Or my,
and I mean, how dare we think that deserves shame? Because look at your remarkable babies. You know,
I know,
amazing human beings,
and,
and yet somehow, instead of this being a badge of honour or gratitude. It's something we're supposed to feel shame for. And it goes back to this whole, you know, are you Beachbody ready? Are you midlife ready? Are you... Yes, if I'm here and I'm turning up, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I might get things wrong.
Yeah.
I might be perfectly imperfect in everything I do. Yeah. But I think that's okay.
Yeah. I think it's that whole thing we're made to think. I think I sent you, did I? That post from that woman who was doing her graduation speech about imposter syndrome and medicalising the idea of feeling an imposter. Feeling nervous about doing something and doubting yourself is a normal response. You are not an imposter just because you're doubting your ability. What you're doing is you're stepping forward out of your comfort zone and you are proving yourself able or willing to give it a try. And if it goes wrong, you're learning a lesson. Yeah. And if it goes well, you are empowered. I know. Yeah. So this
and
whole
you know
idea...
my whole belief of this about it being a syndrome is such rubbish. It's you know, I live with a syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It utterly sucks. Yeah. There's not a thing I can do about it, and no amount of positive mental attitude is going to take that away. But actually, the imposter is just a mindset. Yeah. That's all it is. And I think a lot of us are drifting constantly between imposter and performer. Yeah. Where we think we have to be fine all the time. Yeah. We have to step up. We have to do more. You know, when is it enough? Yeah. We should be allowed. It is very normal to be nervous or worried that we can't. It is very empowering and shows a great deal of strength to carry on and try despite feeling like you shouldn't be or you can't or people are mad for asking you or whatever story we're telling ourselves. And it is an amazing feeling when you've done it. Yes. Even if Even if it wasn't
didn't-
perfect.
Perfect.
Well, as the great Susan Jeffries says, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's such a liberating thing to do. And what I love is how often you'll do something that took you right outside that
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah.
Somebody will notice
Yeah.
and they'll come to you and say, you did an amazing job. I remember being scared
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
And suddenly you realise you're not alone in feeling
Everyone
that.
is scared doing
You know
these
what,
things. It's
also-
just some of us voice it.
Yeah, and the day you don't, the day you're not scared,
Yeah.
there's something wrong.
Well, where's your satisfaction after you've done it? If you haven't got a bit of nerve or a bit
Yeah.
of pressure, you know.
I mean,
there's
after
a-
all these years for me of being, delivering
Public
ceremonies,
speakers,
talking
yeah.
on big stages, honestly, the night before every single ceremony I do,
Yeah.
usually about 8 o'clock, I'll suddenly go, oh, and John will say, what? Oh, I've got butterflies, I feel a little bit sick about tomorrow. And he will say, well, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And I'll go, what do you mean, thank goodness? He'll say, I was getting worried. Look, it's gone 8 o'clock. Because he knows how I feel about it.
Because it means it matters to you.
It matters, and I want it
Yeah.
to be, for the people I'm doing it
Yeah.
for, really special.
And even that thing where you come away and you know it was good, but
Yeah.
you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh my God, I pronounced that name wrong.
Yes.
I did that.
Yeah.
That,
And nobody
even
notices
that.
except
no,
you.
No. And then you wait and you get some feedback, and it's usually very positive. I was saying to someone the other day, because as you know, I commentate at events.
Yes.
And this weekend gone, it was the man versus horse marathon.
Did I hear right that 2 men beat
Two
horses?
men were faster than the
That's
fastest horse this year.
fantastic.
It's the 4th year that a runner has beaten the fastest horse rider. It was almost certain that would happen because of the heat and the humidity and the dryness. So it's a 23 plus mile course, and the horses obviously are hot because it's humid. They can't cool down at the vet checks as quickly, so they have to
so
wait
they have to
longer,
wait.
a bit longer.
But I watched you
yeah.
throughout the day. I dipped in
Yeah.
on Instagram
Yeah.
so I could listen to my friend doing the man v horse.
And I just waffle.
You're
you know.
fabulous. You're so natural, and people love it so much.
The comments I get after all this, I love it. I have so much fun. The comments I get are always so positive. But I always say to people, especially my brides and grooms who go, I nearly didn't get married because the idea of standing up in front and
Yeah.
saying something in public has scared me so much. I was that person.
Yeah.
It's impossible to believe, but when I was in my early 20s and working in recruitment, I nearly didn't go on the courses, and and prior to that I hadn't gone on courses because of the idea of sitting around a table and them going round the table and you having to just say who you were, what you did, why you were there, because I worried about what volume my voice would come out, would it come out, what would I say, would I look stupid, would I be able to speak, and I was so worried about speaking out loud that I stopped myself doing things. And now I'm not expecting everyone to do it once and then love it, but these things are never as bad as you
Never.
imagine that they're going to be.
And you could end up discovering what you've discovered.
Yeah.
Which is not only are you actually really good at it,
Yeah.
but you love doing it.
Oh God, I love it so much. Honestly, I mean, when in August bank holiday, I talk. They wheel me out. And I need someone to talk shit for 8 hours,
Yeah,
and they'll
here's
wheel
Bernie.
me out, and they'll give me a microphone.
Is this bog
And
talking?
yeah,
Oh.
and I start talking at 9:30, and I finish talking at 4:30,
Wow.
and I just.
So this is because Bernie lives in Llanrutted, which is known as, frankly, the most outrageously wonderful, crazy, bonkers town in Wales. Everybody there is a character, and they are, I have to tell you, one of the most wonderful communities I have ever encountered. But they have these fantastic games throughout the year. It's kind of the
Yeah.
alternatives to...
Yeah, we celebrate eccentricity and alternative. We give everybody an opportunity to come along and be totally themselves without any self-awareness. And I think we were saying earlier that is so important. That particularly, we decided to talk about this today, right in the middle of Pride Month.
Yes.
It's
Gosh, yes.
such a big thing.
It
you
really
know?
is. This whole self-consciousness, not being able to turn up as you wish, to just be you. And, we think it's hard for us, as frankly, as cis, middle-aged, white women with loads of privilege.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
being
I
the
know.
one person walking into a room who's gay or trans,
Yeah.
or how does that feel?
Yeah. And then
just-
doing that as an ethnic minority
Oh
and all
gosh,
of those things.
yeah.
It's just,
I mean, you add in
yeah.
all these layers,
Yeah.
and society, which claims to be so all-embracing and so accepting, actually is massively judgmental.
It's improving. I think what I like is that the fact that we're having this conversation, the
says a
fact
lot.
that we have Pride Month, the fact that we are talking about menopause and aging women and disability and,
Yes,
and
and so
people with
many
disability
more.
having sex or
The fact we're
having a
actually
sex life,
allowed to do that.
it's like, any of those older people having a sex life or falling in
I
love, all
love
of
that
those
you
things.
mentioned that. Do you know, one of the weirdest questions that I ever got asked, so not everybody listening will know this, but in my 20s I had an accident that meant I spent some time in a wheelchair. And people who really didn't know me thought it was okay to say, well, it is amazing that your husband stayed with you, despite you both being so young, because of course you wouldn't be able to have sex, would you? Why?
Why do they care about?
Well,
what
what has it
their
got to do with
business?
them? But these assumptions, these
Yeah.
bizarre conversations that people think it's okay to have are very odd. And so yes, I'm thrilled to actually get to talk about these things, and for it to be, the whole it's not just me.
Yeah, I think the more we talk about things, the more we realise it's not just us. Like that self-doubt is very normal.
Yes.
I have met the most high-powered people, as I know you have, and they worry about exactly the same things
All the time.
as we worry about. It's just they show up and do it, and we think that they didn't worry about it. But
totally.
they did.
I was extremely lucky. The remarkable Lucy Brazier, OBE, who is a dear friend, who has an organisation called Executive Support, and they take conferences all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And she was incredibly generous and asked me to join her team of speakers for a year.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
And I went and spoke in some remarkable places to some very, very accomplished executive and personal assistants from all over the world.
Yeah.
And at the end of each of my talks, I am very humbled to say I got a standing ovation.
Well
And at the
deserved.
end of each of my talks, I would then spend 40 minutes on the phone with my husband saying, I do hope they liked it. I do hope I didn't repeat myself too much. I'm not really sure I added value today. Oh gosh, I do hope it... And you stop and you think, sorry? Are we talking about the person who just confidently stood on that stage?
And who got
Yes.
a standing ovation.
But yes, we are, because that's normal.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely all right to be terrified again the next time.
Yeah.
As long as you push through that and do it.
And I think that is the thing. What you see on the outside, that veneer, and the bit
Yes.
you see when you see any of us doing anything, any people you think are so whatever you think that you admire about them, they will have had those self-doubts. They will have struggled, perhaps. There are days when I think I can't drive the car because I'm too wobbly, or I can't walk into that room, or I can't.
I can't wear that thing.
I can't wear that thing.
Yeah.
And then it all works out just fine. But just because we come across as super confident doesn't mean we are.
No, absolutely.
And it doesn't mean.
And what does that really mean anyway?
I don't know. Well, maybe the fact that we do despite.
Yes, maybe that's what real confidence
Yeah,
is.
it
It's
is.
not believing we're good at something. It's believing
That it.
I know enough that if I push through this fear,
Yeah.
I will be okay.
Yeah. And I think that in society we are having more and more of that conversation where we are saying it's okay to say I don't know.
Yes.
It's okay to not be 100% perfect. It's okay to be the voice of something and still not have all the answers, and acknowledge that it's about making the connections.
Yes.
And it's okay to be different, and to worry about being different, and to be different anyway.
Yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
You are never going to be, even if you are the most down the middle person, whatever that means, you are never going to be everybody's cup of tea.
No.
You never
thank
are.
goodness.
I mean, my God.
Could you imagine how bland you would have to be?
how bland the world was? And if it was bland, perhaps I wouldn't want to relate. Someone would, because you're not,
you talk about not being everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
I've always adored your blogs because you are very open and really honest, and some of them are very moving.
Yeah.
And you talked not that long ago about an experience you had with a funeral director who basically said, because you have pink hair, we can't ask you to do funerals.
Yeah.
Which not only made me angry, but made me incredibly sad for him.
Yeah.
Because he's missing the chance for all the families in his community to have you care about them, look after them, produce beautiful services, which I know you would do. Because he can't see past the colour of your hair.
Yeah, well, he had made a judgment. What had happened was this person, and it's fine, but this person had made a judgment that his clients would make a judgment.
Yes.
He hadn't asked them if they wanted to make that judgment himself, and that's what bothered me. I don't mind if somebody who is grieving decides I'm not for them, and the reason they decide I'm not for them is because of my hair. They're grieving. If they want to decide I'm not for them and I'm not their cup of tea, I'm fine with that. In the same way,
he shouldn't get to decide that for them without ever saying, this is a remarkable woman.
Yeah, and I understand that people won't want that, but in the same way that some people might not at their ceremony, they might want someone young and fun. They might want someone quiet and straight-laced. They might want somebody, they might want an older man. They might,
absolutely.
They don't have to justify that. They are. Yeah. They need to connect with the person that is doing their ceremony. And for me as a celebrant, even when a funeral director has given a couple, this is your celebrant, I always say to them, I would love to be your celebrant, but you don't have to have me as your celebrant.
No, if this doesn't feel right, then
let us have
absolutely should feel free to say so.
Yeah, there are lots of celebrants, and I am going to ask you to tell me about your life, the life of the person, about your lives if it's a wedding, about the lives and the stories within your family of the person who's died. And I want you to feel comfortable doing that. And if you don't feel comfortable with me just because we don't click for whatever
the reason,
that is fine. I won't be offended because this is not about me at all. This is about you. I am sure if it happens, I will think it's about me, and I'll be phoning you and go, Dinah, this couple didn't what's wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. But you will remind me then.
Hang on a minute, this isn't about you at all.
It's not about me, but I will still have that self-doubt when it happens, I'm sure.
I do love that profound, very simple but rather beautiful saying, and I have a hunch I heard this first from the very remarkable Ayanna Castro. Other people's opinion of me is none of my business.
Yes, correct.
Oh, I love that. And that's one of those sayings that in moments of doubt, I stop and I say it 3 times.
I think we should all write it on our mirrors.
Yes.
And then we should look at ourselves every day and point out the things we like about ourselves. Because
thank you, Vix.
Yes, thank you very much, Vix. And we should remember that, because as long as we are being our true selves, and we're not actively hurting other people in that process, then we should learn to be comfortable with that true self of ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I do think, going back to where we started with this whole, are you beach body ready? Are you bride ready or groom ready? Or we have to start asking the question, how dare they?
Yeah. We should be angry about it.
Yeah, we should.
Be angry about
absolutely should, because all of this goes back to really, people talk about being a cost of living crisis. We're in a cost of enough crisis. Nobody says enough anymore.
No.
You have enough money. You've charged us enough.
Yeah.
The interest rate rises are enough.
Yeah.
But
you
also,
are good enough.
I am enough.
Yeah.
As I am. Perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
And allowing people to say that about themselves, giving people the space to do that, changes their world.
Yeah. This is me, this is what you get. And I am sorry if you don't like it, but I'm not hurting you by being it. There will be a tribe out there of people who are right for you. Yes. And that's fine. I don't want to have to change to accommodate you. I'm not being mean. I'm not being in any way negative. But I am, I am me. And that might not suit you, and that is fine. And I think that's what we have to learn to just be. And it's not easy. I'm not saying that's
No,
easy.
no,
Because
but it's worth it.
listen to us having our crises every 5 minutes and phoning one another.
Oh.
But it's made us want to talk about it today.
Yes.
And I think if
And
we
I just want to hear this conversation happening more.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? Getting married or joining in some kind of ceremony of love is a massive decision. You're going through big things to organise it. It gets quite stressful. To add into that mix, but do you look good enough? You know, no, enough. That's enough. We have to step back from that and say, I've been asked because this person adores me.
Yeah.
So I must be enough exactly as I am.
Yeah. You are enough exactly as you are for the people that matter.
Yes.
Anyone you're not enough for really doesn't matter to you. They're not your tribe. Doesn't matter. You know, no one should be asking you to change. No one should be saying, I want to marry you, but you need to lose a couple of stone.
No.
They're not the
They are
woman
not
for
the
you.
person for
Oh
you.
my God! Red
No,
light, red
no,
light,
no.
red light, red light.
No.
You know,
Totally.
It's like, you know, or whatever it is. If I don't like the way you dress. You dress. If you like the way you dress, if you like the way you speak, if you like yourself,
Yeah.
and if you don't like yourself, is it because someone else is telling you not to like yourself, or is it something else? But we need to learn to be happy within ourselves. We are good enough.
Yeah, we really are.
Exactly as we are.
Exactly as we
Warts
are.
and all. I mean, every time I write, this is my blog, Bernie B, warts and all. And, I talk about when I cock up, and I talk about when I fall down, or I make a mistake, or I worry about something. And I think it's really important. If we all said that, we would all realise how normal it is to have
normal.
it. Yeah, it's
We're all going through this
Yeah.
in these private little conversations in our heads,
Yeah.
and assuming that everybody else is fine.
Has got it together, yeah. Oh, they're so together.
Yeah.
I always look at you and think you're so together, and I love it. I don't love that you're suffering or struggling.
But you love that I feel exactly like
love
you feel.
when you, as a motivational speaker and a mentor and a life coach and all the things you've been, go to me, I don't think I can do that. Oh, I've been so worried about that. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm normal. I'm normal. It's great, Just remember, everyone is feeling it, don't you think?
Totally.
On that note, I think we should have cake.
Oh God, yes. Hashtag cake.
Hashtag cake. We're at this great cafe, and I
This
just saw the
beautiful
cakes.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So, as usual, a fabulous conversation, my friend.
Always wonderful.
Thank you.
Can't
and
wait.
Join us next time, folks.
Yeah.
Bye for now. Ask a Celebrant is unscripted, and we base it on the questions we receive from our clients and you, our listeners. We'd love to hear from you. Do join the conversation.
See you next month.